Now at 10, college softball coaches gathered in Pittsburgh to host a skills training camp for area youths. Plus, Republicans in Kansas hold a special election to fill the Senate seat of Richard Hildebrand after his resignation. And a local dance studio showcases their competition solos for the community to see.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. 12 area girls joined for a fast pitch softball sports camp earlier today. The camp was hosted by Fast Pitch Masters and brings area college coaches to teach the young players. Coach Meredith Smith from the Coffeyville Community College coached outfield positions and agilities to the group. She says these camps may bring the spark for the young players and inspire them to continue.
I've been able to get into these smaller communities, and there's definitely some softball talent. Being in a big city, it's very easy to kind of grab some, but here we get to bring in kids from all the little towns, and there's lots of softball players out there that are ready to make an impact in college softball. We just got to go out there and give them opportunities.
These campings happen all year long in different locations with current college coaches. Today, some area residents attended a pop-up class at the Art Forms Gallery to create chandelier heart earrings. Christian Gerard led the class to create these earrings that could be given as a gift or to wear for yourself this upcoming Valentine's Day. She hopes participants get inspiration from the 2-hour class and get to start projects like this on their own.
I want them to take away some pretty earrings to wear, but also some confidence that they could go on out and maybe make some of their own earrings based on what they've learned here. And hopefully there's 2 or 3 skills they're going to catch today.
Art Forms Gallery is also hosting other workshops related to Valentine's Day. A convention made up of Kansas Senate District 13 Precinct Committee members met earlier today to elect a senator to take over Richard Hildebrand's resigned seat. Candidates Dan Muter and Tim Schallenberger were given the chance to speak on why they should be elected and answered questions from the delegates. Officials say that the election is happening so fast, only people who are elected members of the Republican Party in the district got to vote for their replacement.
We're hearing from the candidates on what they think they can bring to the party to serve in the Senate and continue Richard Hildebrand's legacy. And what the voters are looking for, there are about 130 voters total, are looking for the person who they think is best going to represent their interests.
Tim Schallenberger got elected for the role. The new senator will finish out the almost 2 years left on Hildebrand's current term before running for re-election in November of 2024. Ovation Studios in Carthage hosted a solo showcase for soloists to debut their competition solos. The dancers performed ballet, tap, jazz, hip-hop, lyrical, contemporary, point, tumbling, acro, and even baton twirling. Admission was free for the friends and family of the dancers, as well as for the community.
I love getting to see our students that are just starting out as beginners. This may be their first time to do a solo. Maybe they've been dancing for years, but that's their first time to take the stage by themselves. All the way up to we have seniors graduating that have been doing this since they were little. It's their very final time on stage. So it's really wonderful to see kids take the full journey that they go on with their dance. So
the event was held today at 3 p.m. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Cale. Yeah, it was a pretty cloudy and chilly day across the area, but it's in anticipation of the next storm system that our attention is turning to. Right now, radar is all clear, but there is a winter storm watch in effect for parts of our area, basically from I-44 and south, including Lawrence, Berry, and McDonald counties, as well as Benton County in northwest Arkansas. That's in anticipation of the big storm system that we have heading in our direction. But tonight, no big storm system. Instead, we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 20s, all the way down to about 24 by tomorrow morning. But taking a look down the lane, we're going to be seeing a mild Monday, and then rain starts to move in Tuesday afternoon, switching over to snow by Tuesday night, and that continues all the way into Wednesday morning. And of course, I'll be back in a few minutes to tell you all about the accumulation forecast in our forecast in just a little bit.
Thank you, Sam. Authorities in Monterey Park, California are searching desperately for a possible suspect they described as an Asian male in a mass shooting that left 10 people dead and about 10 injured at a dance hall in the city east of Los Angeles. CBS News correspondent Danya Backus is in Monterey Park with the latest.
Monterey Park is in mourning after deadly violence shocked this Southern California community as it celebrated the Lunar New Year.
When the fire department did get into the business, they did pronounce 10 of the victims deceased at the scene.
Authorities say a gunman who killed those 10 people at the Star Dance studio may have tried and failed to unleash more deadly violence at a second dance hall in nearby Alhambra. Authorities say it remains unclear whether the events are connected, but the killer who left 5 women and 5 men dead was still not caught by well into Sunday.
Was he by himself? Were there other suspects? Our detectives are looking at every angle. Our job is to collect every shred of this awful puzzle that has been laid out by this suspect.
On Sunday, authorities released this photo of a man they want to speak with in connection with the tragedy. And south of Los Angeles, in the city of Torrance, they surrounded this white van where they were checking on the identity of someone inside. This community of about 60,000 east of Los Angeles is comprised mostly of people of Asian descent.
To hear about this was just absolutely shattering, especially in our peaceful community, which I believe is so resilient and which appreciates its diversity.
Now, instead of celebrating the Chinese Year of the Rabbit, residents here are searching for answers. Danya Backus, CBS News, Monterey Park, California.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Sammy Cherry served in the U.S. Army from 1966 to 1967. The Miami, Oklahoma native served abroad in Vietnam as part of the 6th and 14th Artillery. To Sammy M. Cherry, we salute you, our four-state hero. And coming up on the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, citizens across the nation went out to make their opinions heard. Plus, one Illinois community comes together after an arsonist's attack. No injuries were reported earlier today after a small plane crashed on a northwest Harris County toll road, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety officials. The crash happened around 11:15 a.m. when the pilot of a single-engine plane reported a loss of power. As the pilot attempted the emergency landing, the plane crashed into the top of an 18-wheeler. Neither the driver or the pilot was injured. Once the plane got to the ground, it caught fire. Officials said that the wings of the aircraft were a little wider than the roadway, and the fire started when they rubbed against the concrete barrier. There was a fuel leak, but the Rose Hill Tomball Fire Department got to the scene in time and was able to stop it.
Typically, when a plane makes contact with another vehicle, it doesn't end well. So the fact that the 18-wheel driver is over there is too, it's a good day. So policy and procedure is good, but when a plane loses power, seconds count.
The pilot was running a survey assignment before the crash. As the Lunar New Year is ushered in, celebrations take place across the country against a grim backdrop after a man fatally shot 10 people and injured at least 10 others at a ballroom dance hall during the Chinese Lunar New Year celebration late last night near Los Angeles. This year marks the Year of the Rabbit. In the Chinese calendar, each year is represented by one of the 12 animals from the Chinese zodiac. The festival's many customs observed by millions of Chinese communities around the globe all link back to the idea of inviting good fortune and prosperity and chasing away bad luck.
Yeah, so I share all of my family and thoughts to the loved ones that they lost. We want to share the love that we can with our festivities, and we just hope that they have everything they need. We're here for them.
And you should say here today.
Yeah, for the most part, I think New York's pretty safe. There's definitely, still a big city, so you have to be in a guard, but still, yeah.
Today marks 50 years since the Roe v. Wade decision in the Supreme Court. And this year, the fight over abortion rights is more fueled than ever after that landmark decision was overturned last year as the law of the land. Christian Benavides shows us how the battle is playing out in state capitals across the country.
From Wisconsin to Washington and across the country, thousands took to the streets Sunday on what would have been the 50th anniversary of the landmark Roe v. Wade decision, a decision which was overturned last summer, leaving abortion rights up to the states.
Americans from across the country, but right here in Ohio, are standing up for our rights.
Vice President Kamala Harris delivered remarks in Florida.
Today, we are fighting back.
The vice president is urging abortion rights supporters to keep up their fight in the face of restrictions being implemented in Republican-led states.
The right of every woman in every state in this country to make decisions about her own body is on the line. And I've said it before and I will say it again. How dare they?
Democrats believe the abortion issue may have helped them have a better than expected outcome in last year's midterms. Republican Representative Nancy Mace represents a swing district in South Carolina.
Even though I am pro-life, I'm at least willing to have some concessions, find that middle ground, because the vast majority of people I represent, that's what they're asking for.
But the GOP is at a crossroads, with mounting pressure from anti-abortion rights groups to do more to restrict abortion.
I think we just need to get the word out that there's alternatives to doing that.
Since there's a split Congress, the battle for abortion rights has now shifted from Washington to state capitals. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The vice president also says that the Biden administration is trying to identify barriers to access prescription medication for abortion and find ways to eliminate them. An Illinois community came together today after an arson attack on a Planned Parenthood clinic in the neighborhood. Jack Bazikis has more details.
Sunday, dozens from the community gathered outside of a Planned Parenthood clinic on Knoxville Avenue to show solidarity after an arson attack on the building last week.
Luckily, nobody was here. I mean, it could have been a disaster if this place was occupied.
The arson happened 2 days after Governor J.B. Pritzker signed legislation expanding abortion access in Illinois and protecting out-of-state patients. Witnesses report seeing this truck leaving the scene of the crime.
We're still assessing how much damage, but we're anticipating it being at least $1 million.
Planned Parenthood employee Kelly Tyson says she wants to bring legal action against the person responsible.
So once we find the person or people responsible, we do intend to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law.
Community members took to the sidewalk on the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade to show support. Signs in hands and advocating against arson and politically motivated attacks. Lynn Jalovic says she came out to show it doesn't matter where you stand politically, everyone can agree that violence doesn't help anyone's cause.
One thing we're definitely against is violence. Violence is not the answer. This is not how we solve this problem between people and our disagreements.
While the facility will remain closed for at least a month, Tyson says they're doing everything they can to get the building back up and running.
It's just very sad that somebody would do this, but we are working as quickly as possible to reopen the facility.
A little later, we take a look at the U.S. Pond Hockey Tournament in Minnesota.
And we have an updated forecast on your snowfall amounts when we return. Well, it was a cloudy and chilly day across the four-state area. Not much range in temperatures either, and that continues this evening. We see temperatures in the 30s. Right now at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort down in Seneca, Missouri, things are pretty calm, but that's going to be changing. Over the next 24 to 36 hours, including Seneca, they're going to get quite a bit of snow down that way. In fact, they're under a winter storm watch right now. Temperature this afternoon, we made it up to 38 after starting out at 35, which was 10 degrees above the normals, but we were slightly below on the high, so it all evened out in a sense, and temperatures back in the 60s were where the records were for this date. Winter storm watch is in effect right now for parts of our area, including Lawrence, Berry, McDonald counties in Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas. Wouldn't be surprised to see additional counties issued warnings and watches later on, especially Delaware County and Oklahoma, as we get closer to the event. But right now, things are calm, but that's not going to be the case over, like I said, the next day or so. Here's the big storm system now spinning over northern Arizona. That's going to take a dive to the south and then eject out into the plains. And once it does, it's going to start interacting with the cold air that we have in place. And that means snow. And some places could get quite a bit. Temperatures right now are cold enough for snow, that's for sure. Generally right around freezing, 29 in Parsons right now, 34 in Miami, 32 for our friends down in Neosho on the hour. It feels like it's in the 20s, especially up towards the north, where it feels like 23 in Iola right now, 25 in Yates Center, a little bit warmer down in Bentonville. where they're getting ready for the storm. Feels like 30 degrees down there. Dew points are also up as well. You can see dew points are in the 30s and 20s, and that's going to help out with the moisture that we have coming in the next day or so. Temperature right now in Joplin, 30 degrees. It feels like 25 because the wind's out of the west, northwest at 5, and the pressure is currently rising with a humidity of 85%. Tonight, mostly fair skies with temperatures dropping down into the 20s with northerly winds. And then as we go through the morning hours tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures rebounding into the afternoon by lower 40s across the area with southwesterly winds, and also the clouds will be increasing in anticipation of the storm system developing down in Oklahoma. Then on Tuesday morning, we're going to start out in the 20s with easterly winds. Then watch what happens as we go through the day on Tuesday. Here comes the storm from the south and west, spreading up across our area, mixing over with snow in the afternoon, and then by evening, the snow will really start to fly across our area with temperatures in the 30s. And by Wednesday morning, we're going to see the snow still in our area, temperatures around freezing with northwesterly winds. Then as we go through the day on Wednesday, it'll start to move away. Snowfall accumulations right now I've just updated this map. It looks like the snowfall amounts are going to be lesser as the system is taking a little bit further south track. I still think about 4 inches here in Joplin, but the heavier amounts are going to be down in northwestern Arkansas, where they could see 8, maybe 10 inches in places like Eureka Springs. Here's over the next 7 days our forecast. Tomorrow, 44 and cool. Storm comes in on Tuesday, switching over to snow by Wednesday morning, and then we start to dry out a little bit on Thursday with colder temperatures, and then Cale, next weekend, another storm system. And yes, that one also has the potential to have some winter-like precipitation, as well as winter has made a comeback.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it looks like we're hitting quite the cycle here.
That's right.
Yeah, all righty.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Still ahead, the U.S. Pond Hockey Championship is underway in Minnesota. Hockey players from all over the world are lacing up and hitting the ice at Lake Nokomis this weekend. This year marks the 18th annual U.S. Pond Hockey Championships. As Adam Duxter explains, most of the work this year came before the first puck even dropped.
When Eric Jackson and his teammates take the ice,
it's awesome, man. It's gorgeous. I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's beautiful.
They're truly the road team. They're Texas Rattlesnakes, competing in this year's Pond Hockey Championships all the way from Dallas.
The biggest difference is just the elements with the weather. You feel the wind in your face, the snow's hitting you.
But the biggest difference, the playing surface.
It's tough. Honestly, the first time I got onto the pond, I didn't think I knew how to skate anymore. I was like, this is bad. But you get used to it.
Games delayed Friday as crews worked to prepare the ice after warm temps and extra snow.
It's a lot of experimentation, honestly. We've had a lot of different people trying different stuff. So we have Zambonis, and we've been flooding. We've had people out here with scrapers and shovels, snow plows, anything that we can try to figure out the best way to get the ice down to a good skatable condition.
Meaning Eric and his team can focus on what really matters, having fun.
And the hope is with the weather we have in the forecast, by the time this tournament resumes next weekend, it'll be smooth sailing and, more importantly, smooth ice. After this week, a good sign for everyone involved. Adam Duxter, WCCO 4 News.
One of the world's biggest esports competitions returns to the Bay Area with Genesis 9 taking place. The event takes place at the San Jose Convention Center, where some of the world's top talent in the fighting game community square off for huge prize money. The event is a massive draw for in-person attendance and is even bigger online, as all events are live streamed on Twitch. The competitions mostly take place across different variations of Super Smash Bros. Some other games will be featured as well, including Rivals of Aether and Guilty Gear. We'll be right back with more after this. Today in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the World of Wheels rolled into the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, and some celebrities rolled in with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines because World of Wheels has just rolled into the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Almost everywhere you look at the World of Wheels show here in Pittsburgh, it's classic cars as far as the eye can see. And not just cars, but motorcycles and really anything cool with wheels. Larry Way, the public relations director for World of Wheels, says that they love bringing their show here each year and that there's a little something for everyone.
We love coming here. The quality of the cars here in Western Pennsylvania is fantastic. You know, people would think if you go to Southern California, that's where you're going to see the great shows. This show will hold its own anywhere in the country. Even if you're not a car person, when you walk in the door, see all these beautiful cars and they're shiny and the shiny paints and the chrome, you just say wow. And so you can spend an entire day here. There's so much to see.
Along with classic cars, there are celebrity meet and greets with folks like actress Mackenzie Phillips, who's celebrating the 50th anniversary of the classic car film American Graffiti, and actor Henry Winkler, who some may remember as the Fonz from Happy Days. And let's just say the Fonz still draws quite a crowd.
I've just arrived, and all these wonderful people are here.
Well, Pittsburgh likes to turn out, especially for people they like.
I love Pittsburgh. It is such a solid city.
And while meeting celebrities is cool, exhibitor Bruce Campbell says that there's no place he'd rather be each year because of the community this show fostered.
This is my happy place. This is, definitely home. Like I said, I met some of the greatest people in my life through cars. So the connection's great, and it's nice to hand that down to the children. You see little kids that come through and they want to talk and learn about the cars and stuff, and it's great to pass that down.
If you want more information on the World of Wheels show, check out this story at kdka.com. The show runs through Sunday. Reporting at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, Krista Rose, KDKA News.
Lots of cars.
Yeah, pretty neat. You gotta love them. All right, well, how's
Might
that
have some
weather?
travel problems with those cars if they're going to be in our area as we head over the next 24 to 36 hours. Here's the snowfall forecast accumulations. I had to trim it back just a little bit, heavier amounts down towards the south. Once that storm system moves away, we have yet another system coming in next weekend with also a winter mix possible, and then it kind of stays cold a little bit after that. So winter is definitely not giving up yet.
Yeah, it looks like it's time to bundle up again.
That's right.
Alrighty, well that's our time for now. Thanks for making us a part of your night. We'll leave you with a video from an attempt to build the world's largest pizza in Los Angeles, California. Have a good night.